Hey guys, Operator Drewski here, and today we're going to be talking about the AH-1 Cobra in Rising Storm, Vietnam. This is a powerful beast, and it's been a lot of fun this morning and just last evening playing with this helicopter as a combat pilot. And honestly, it's one of the most fun things once I got used to it to actually play in the entire game. I had a little bit of trouble with it at first. I couldn't really get the controls down. I really didn't understand the flight model, and some things were just kind of wonky to me. And in every game, the flight models are always different. I'm used to the realistic, like, simulator flight models, or even, like, the basic Battlefield 4 type flight models, or Arma 3, DCS, things like that. But when I hopped into this, it was kind of different. There's always some differences in every flight model in every game, like power to torque ratio, or power to weight ratio, sorry. And there's always some differences. But I actually saw that there was an advanced flight model option for the helicopter, so I turned it on and boom, I clicked. Like, I went from totally ineffective in a helicopter to totally effective in a helicopter in 1 second, one little mouse click. If you're experienced at all in Arma 3 flight models or DCS or any simulators like that, definitely turn the advanced flight model on with this helicopter. It's so much easier to fly and just a lot simpler, and I feel like it just makes more sense is the best way to describe it. I don't really know what is different about it other than like the collective controls are different, but then there's also some background physics things that are going on that definitely change it up of how it works. Like, even RPMs in the helicopters work more realistically in this than they do even in Arma 3, which is a really nice feature. So, like, if you pull a really tight turn with a helicopter, then that creates a lot of drag on those rotor blades, and your RPM will start going down, and you'll start losing power that is coming from your rotor blades. It's really realistic in how the helicopters work in this game, and I've been enjoying it all morning. So me and a totally random guy actually got a lot of the footage you're seeing here on, I don't actually know which map this is, but it's a really fun map because there's one objective in the center called Charlie where there's a gigantic bunker on top of a hill, and both the enemy spawns are on both sides of this hill, and so there's always a fight there. Flying in a helicopter in this game, there's two different things you have to worry about: where the enemies are and where your friendlies are. So you have to be constantly really checking your map, trying to see where the enemies are, where friendlies are, and if you can like basically rocket objectives without killing any of your own. So I'm commonly in this footage looking at my map, checking where my friendlies are, seeing if an objective is recently taken over or if it's recently taken over by friendlies or something, because if I see an objective that just got taken over by hostiles and there's no friendlies on it, then I know that there's probably a good squad or two of guys just on that objective. This helicopter has a good bit of weaponry as well. As the pilot slot, you have these Hydra rockets, or I don't really know what to call them, dagger rockets, I don't know what to call them. They're Hydra rockets. You've got 21 of them. They're FFARs, I think, actually. And then you've got a M195 Gatling gun. This Gatling gun is really powerful as well, and it can last a long time. So you can fire rockets off within like 2 seconds. Like, you can honestly fire them all within a short burst within 3 or 2 seconds, compared to the Gatling gun, which lasts a lot longer but doesn't do as much damage really quickly. So that Gatling gun is still high explosive, still has some splash damage, and you can still really easily take out hostiles with it. But if you want to destroy an entire objective forever, you can just salvo all of your rockets into one objective all at once and kill 8 people at a time. And once you're out of ammo, no worries, you just fly back to your base, you land, you rearm after like 15 seconds, and you're back in the fight. It's that easy, it's that simple. And if you know how to fly the helicopter, and if you know where enemies are and where you kind of can guess where they are on the map, or if you just see them visibly, which is kind of difficult, it's one of the most interesting and entertaining roles you can really play in this game, I think, so far. Your main dangers are being too low to the ground and too slow on the ground so that you take some small arms fire, which won't really happen if you're being intelligent with your maneuvers. But your other dangers are RPGs, which again is kind of like low and slow type of thing. But your main danger, I mean, the one thing that will kill you 90% of the time, even if you're a good pilot, is the SAM sites. If their commander orders a SAM to be placed on you, it's really difficult to get away. Please don't fire. No! Freaking SAMs! No! You basically have to be under, I think, 60 meters or 60 feet. I don't really know if it's meters or feet in the helicopter. I think it's meters. But you have to be under like 60 or 64 meters of altitude. Otherwise, you're going to die. You're going to get locked on by the SAM site, and you're going to get shot by it. It's so hard to try to fight against the SAM site and fight against like an RPG team that's trying to hit you both at once. Really difficult. But I think that SAM site is a suitable balance for this helicopter, because this helicopter doesn't just have one guy in it as well, it has two. Again, on this map, I was playing with a total random guy that actually did really, really well. Actually, he was trying to fly at first. He wasn't really that experienced, so he crashed a few times. I think I crashed once in the footage here. He was like, hey, let's have you fly, because he wasn't that experienced, but he was actually a really, really good gunner. He was doing a lot of work from his gunner seat. The gunner seat on this is not fixed like the main missile and turrets of your pilot slot, but in the gunner slot you can have this movable cannon. It's the front cannon on the aircraft. It isn't connected to like the wings of the helicopter or anything like that, so you're able to move the cannon and a grenade launcher around and do a lot of damage to enemies. So if you have a pilot and a gunner that are communicating really, really well together, you can destroy so many people with this helicopter. I basically found that most of the kills or kill streaks that I was getting were from just heavily salvoing an entire objective with missiles, unloading all of the rockets into a single objective, and then kind of firing the machine gun just around as much as I could all at once. Doing those really fast strikes on objectives were the best way to do it, because if I fired a few rockets at a time at the same objective, people would get used to that. The VC would notice, and they would start bunkering down. They'd start getting away from the objective because they know that they would get rocketed. You know, so if you fire really slowly, or if you fire over time doing little pit-pats here and there of rockets, then they'll notice and they'll start taking cover, or they'll start actually firing back at you. Now, if you surprise the enemy, which is what I was trying to do in this video, is by going to different objectives every single time I kind of wanted to fight them. So I would, let's say, Rocket Charlie, maybe Rocket Charlie one more time, and then I would go back to Delta, and I would fight on Delta for a little bit. If you change your objectives up, then you change the people who you're fighting against. So if you rocket an objective like Delta, then you're basically firing maybe at 2 squads at most. Then if you go to Charlie, you're probably going to be firing on different people that weren't even at Delta beforehand. So the people at Charlie are not really going to be expecting you. So they're just going to be walking out in the open, walking where the sky can see them. So if you're in a helicopter, you're going to be able to easily hit them with your rockets or your main gun or your gunner seat. But I noticed if I fired at the same objective too many times, even if I were to go back to base and then come back with more rockets, it would still be a short enough time that they would be expecting me again, and they would have some guys with RPGs set up ready to fire back at me. This morning as well, I got to play as some VC guys. I got to play with an SKS and an AKM, and I actually got a punji trap kill, which is the first punji trap kill I've gotten in the game. As Viet Cong in this game, you can play as Viet Cong. No, you can place these little punji traps. They're kind of not really useful most of the time, and I feel like they take too long to place down. I feel like you should easily be able to just like throw them on the ground after 2 seconds. They're ready to go, because overall this game is a really fast-paced game, and you can't really set up defenses that well. Like, it's just that it's like Battlefield. You can't really take time to dig a little trap and get in the right spot, unlike Battlefield 4 or something where you can just place it on a claymore, boom, you're ready to go. It's definitely a little bit longer to place down the traps, and so not a lot of people use them. I see them maybe once every like 20 players that I pass are actually using them. They're really rare, so people also just don't expect them. So sometimes you get a lucky kill whenever you're also just died. Like, I was looking at this punji trap spot, ready to get footage for you guys of a guy running over it, and then instantly I get headshot by a sniper, and then right after it, I mean like a millisecond after I got sniped, a guy ran over the punji trap and got killed. Now, I wasn't able to get footage of punji traps in Rising Storm, but I was able to get footage of a shotgun trap in Rust. And let me transport us over to Rust right now. So these little shotgun traps, you can place them in a base, and they are absolutely crazy powerful. It's really good to have these kind of defensive things in Rust, because I feel like that makes it a little bit easier for new players on a server to start out, especially when they have some house protection. You can place these at your front door, for example, and if someone just happens to break through your front door, then this guy is sitting here waiting to defend you. It basically shoots fully automatic shotgun shells at whoever walks in. So I was able to place a little base here and have some fun. Okay, I saw him. Let's see if he falls for the trap.
Has he seen you? I mean, y'all are pretty close.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm inside the base hitting a rock.
Oh, well, okay.
got him! I got him! I got him! Yes! Yes!
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, it worked. That's awesome.
Yay.
Yay. Good job,
We
Shotgun
should-
Traps.
Oh my
Good
gosh,
job.
we need to keep making like different ones, just all over the place. That'd
Those
be-
are OP. He hopped down and just boom.
Yeah,
Got
no,
killed
just
instantly.
dead.
That is the perfect trap. But yeah, so I'll try to get some more Punji trap footage for you guys because those are hilarious and I love watching them like come up and hit a guy in the face. I've only gotten 1 kill so far, but I want to see if I can make like a funny stupid montage of just Punji trap kills. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely suggest playing as the helicopter pilot in this game. Once you get used to it, it's super fun and I have a lot more fun in this than I do even as infantry on the ground. And so I would just suggest playing as helicopter pilot. Even if you don't think you're good, practice a little bit, you'll get good at it after a while. And it's definitely a lot of fun. Just make sure, don't team kill. I've team killed a lot in my days of helicopter flying, so don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad. But yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.